Hello, Latin 1. This is your lesson from Friday. It's a little bit different than what we have done, but I'm going to need you to watch this video, and I'm going to need you to come in with notes, and this will be graded, okay? So this, watching the video is your equivalent of being in class, and your completion of the notes that I'm about to give you, as well as the problems that I'm about to give you. That is a graded assignment that you need to turn in for your very next class period. All right. So I have been telling my classes that as soon as the first declension quiz is given, then we're going to take a break between going into the next declension and do verb conjugation. Verb conjugation. And so you're going to get your verb conjugation now in the middle of the first declension stuff. So everything that you see me putting down, I want you to put down. Okay. So all verb conjugation is it's changing the ending of a verb depending on, or you might say according to, depending on who or what is doing the verb. So what we've been doing in Latin so far is talking about putting different endings on nouns. Okay, all the words nauta, Maria, Silva, or Silva, as you might have pronounced it with Mr. Rundy. All of those are nouns, okay? And we're putting different endings on nouns. This is about taking different endings and putting them on verbs. So what is a verb? It's an action word. Hit, run, go, write, read. It's things you do, right? Cook. Even some words like be or is or are verbs, right? Those are all part of the verbs to be. Those are all part of the verb to be. And so we have 6 different types of endings that can be put on verbs. Okay? And so those types of those endings are O, S, T, and sometimes M. Sometimes M. So notice I'm making these big, bold, and then making that one little because it doesn't show up very often. But this M can, whenever it does show up on a verb, usually it's up here. I'm going to go over what these are for. Moose, tis, nt. So again, you need to be copying these down. And there's a reason that they go in this order in this 3x2 chart. Okay, here is the reason that they go in order. They go in this order because the O ending, when an O is on a verb, that means I do the verb. Okay, so for example, habeo means I have. Habeo. Okay, why is this first one on the chart the I one? Because I am numero uno. I am number one. Right? I'm the most important. Me, me, me. I. And so it's first on the chart. That makes sense. Who's the second most important person? The person I'm talking to. So this ending is for you, right? Because the person I'm talking to, I'm calling them you. So this is the second person singular ending. This is the first person singular and the second person singular ending. Guess what? These are all singulars. These are all plurals. Okay? What if I'm talking to more than just one person? What if I'm talking to multiple people? Well, that's what this one's going to be for. This is for you guys. When I say estis, that means you guys are. If I'm you'll see me use this ending a lot because I'm talking to when I'm talking to a class, because I'm talking to all of you guys, right? Or sometimes you'll see me using this one. This one is the we ending. Why? Because we includes me in it, but it's multiple people, of which I am one person, right? And so that makes we. So that's how you'll know that this is the we ending. Okay, so there's no forgetting which one is we again, which one is for they again. You're going to know because of what I'm explaining right now. Okay, first person, always me. Whoever I'm talking to, you is the second person. And the third person, well, how does a third person book sound? A third person or book written in the third person goes, he was born here, then he moved here and he did this or she did that. Okay, it's all about someone else. It's always a book written about someone else where the narrator is not the person in the story, right? So this is someone else. So if you're talking about he did something, if you're talking about Marcus did something, if you're talking about Antonia did something, the verb is always going to have a T at the end. Or sometimes it's not even a person who does a verb. Most of the time it's a person that does a verb. But sometimes like an object can be doing a verb. The sun can be setting, or the chair can be tall, right? So objects can do verbs as well. And if it's one object doing a verb, the verb has a T on the end. I'm going to give you some examples here. Okay, we already said that this was we because it includes me in it. Okay, this one is you guys because that's what makes sense. If this is you talking to one person, this is you guys. And what would you get if there are multiple he's or multiple she's, multiple boys, multiple girls? You'd call them they. And so this is the they ending. So if we ever said the men do something, this NT ending is what we're going to put on a verb. If we say they do something, this NT ending is what you're going to put on a verb. If we say Marcus and Antonia, if we say Marcus et Antonia do something, that NT is what we're going to put on a verb. Because we've listed, even though we were listing singular people, it included multiple of them, and we're going to use this NT. Okay, so we're going to get into some examples here. There are a few verbs I want to give you, and I want you to write down. Okay, those verbs are going to be give, go, have, want, eat, praise, love, and be. Okay, these are the 8 verbs I'm going to give you. With these 8 verbs, that is going to help, these 8 verbs are going to help us understand the different cases and when to use them a little bit better, okay? So if you feel like you're starting to get the hang of it a little bit, that's good. Well, I haven't even given you one of the tools yet to be able to feel like you know it well with. Okay, so think of how well you're going to understand it after I've given you all of the tools. Okay, so let's start with the verb give. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you the conjugation of the verb. And you're going to need a highlighter of some color. It doesn't matter what color. So I've got a highlighter ready. Okay, give. Do. Do means I give. And I want you to highlight whatever the ending from up here is. Okay. Do. Das. dot. Damus, datis, dant. Okay, repeat them with me. Do, das, dot, damus, datis, dant. And so we're going to be saying verbs going down the singular and then down the plural side, several of them. Also going to be giving some example sentences, okay? So here's our first example sentence. Puella, and puella is in the nominative case. It has a nominative ending, just the A without the macron. So the puella is going to be doing the giving. Now, if the puella is doing the giving, which one? Am I the girl? No. Are you the girl? No, I'm talking about a girl. I'm talking about somebody else, right? One somebody else, right? So it's going to be dot. So I'm not going to write dot yet. In Latin, we tend to write our verb at the end of the sentence. So we have to think of what is she going to give? What is she going to give? Let's say that she gives a forest. So this is going to require us to look back at our notes that we took. She gives a forest. Okay, if I give something, that's a direct object, so it's accusative. Now, is she giving a forest or is she giving forests? I said a forest, so let's use siluam. Puella siluam. Let's put dot at the end. Let's say who she gives the forest to. Let's say that she gives the forest to Mary. So we're going to do Mari. Now what ending would have to go on Mari if she's giving it to Mary? Okay, the thing that she's actually giving is the direct object. It's the object that's directly receiving my giving action, right? And then it gets to Mary. So Mary is the indirect object. Okay? And so if she's giving it to Mary, if she's giving it to multiple Marys, then it'd be Maris. But she's just giving it to Mary, singular, so Marii. Marii. So the sentence, Puella silva Marii dot, means the girl a forest to Mary gives. Here's another one. Nautai. Now, nautai can mean a lot of different things. Nautai could mean sailors, plural. It could mean of the sailor, singular. Or it could be something given to a sailor or something done for a sailor. Here I'm meaning it to be sailors, plural. Now, if sailors, plural, were doing giving, now it should be from the plural side. Is sailors the same thing as saying we? No. Is the sailors, if I'm talking to the sailors, then I'm saying you guys all give, and then I would use datis. But here I'm not talking to the sailors, I'm talking about the sailors, right? Because I said nautai. So nautai, we're going to use dant. Dant. Nautai, I'm going to sneak in a second declension word here. Donum, just a gift. Nautai donum dant means the sailors give, they give a gift. Now that could be a sentence all by itself, but I'm leaving some room here to put in another dative to show who they're giving the gift to. Let's see, could they give it to the girl? So let's say they give it to the girl. So indirect object, or should we say to the girls? How about puellis? Puellis. So this means the sailors give a gift, a single gift, to the girls. The sailors a gift to the girls give. Puella silva Marii dot. Nautai donum puellis dant. Okay. One important thing here is that whatever you have in the nominative, like puella, that your verb needs to sort of match the number. One girl, dot. He is our nominative. It's a nominative plural. They give, so it should be dant. If you're ever confused, especially because nautai can be this nautai or that nautai or that nautai, if you're ever confused what nautai is being used in a particular sentence, it's always a good idea to look at the verb. And if you see dant, oh, well, I know that there needs to be multiple people doing the giving, and so I should see some word in the plural. So I should have a nominative plural somewhere in my sentence. And maybe nautai is my nominative plural. So maybe this nautai isn't this nautai, this of the sailor nautai. So that is a clever trick that you can put in your toolbox, is to know that the nominative is always the person or the people doing the verb, or the things doing the verb, and it needs to match the conjugation of the verb. Okay, so we'll do some more work with that going forward. Okay, I'm going to move on to your next verb. Sorry, this is going to be a long one, you guys. Okay, I take some blame for not realizing that I had a class, but also the right thing to do is send a little envoy. You don't want to let to sort of see what's going on here. We do not want to give, we do not want to waste a class period. These are very precious minutes. Okay, so that's why you're making that time up by doing this assignment. Okay, it may even take you longer than class would have. I'm not trying to do that on purpose. All right, so I gave you give. Now let's do have. Okay, have. Habeo. Habeo. Habes. Habet. Whenever we talk about having, I'm going to continue talking as I fill these out. Habemus. Habetis. Whenever we talk about having, the thing that we have is in the accusative. Okay? So the first sentence, habemus papam. Exclamation point. This means we have, just like damus means we give, habemus means we have a pope. And pope is not a first declension word, but the second declension word, but actually, well, maybe it is. It's papam. Okay, we have something that's accusative, and we have a pope singular. Habemus papam. Okay, let's do another one. Puellae, the girls, I'm going to use the nominative puellae here. Let's say they have let's see, they have lands. Okay, so we're not going to do terrae because lands aren't nominative, right? The sentence isn't, the lands aren't doing the thing. The girls are doing the thing, right? That's why we used puellae, but they have lands. So having things means those things are in the accusative. So we're going to do terras. Terras have. Which word would we use if the girls are doing it? Puelai terras habent. The girls have lands. Okay, let's do one. Marcus et ego. That means Marcus and I. Now, if Marcus and I have something, which one would we use? If it was just I, I'd use this one. But it's me and other people too. We're going to use habemus. Marcus et ego. What thing can we use? Habador. So I would say that the door is the thing that we're having. That's going to be accusative. Portam. Portam habemus. Right? Ego. Portam habemus. Marcus and I, the door we have. Okay, number 4. Vos is just the word for you all. So if you see vos, very easy. Habetis. Vos. So let's say, let's do this one. Habetis. Sne. That means, do you guys have, let's see, do you guys have a land? Let's say one land. Terra. Habetis ne terra. Okay, that means, do you guys have a land? That's another way to use this verb. Habetis ne terra. Okay, the next few we're going to go through a little quicker. All right, let's see. We did give. We did have. If we eat, which will be the next one, that is also accusative. Accusative is basically for anytime you verb something. Anytime you eat something, anytime you have something, anytime you verb something, that's the direct object. But if I give something to somebody, that's the dative. So that's kind of the difference. These two are easy kind of to get confused. Okay? And actually, there's a reason that the dative is called the dative. The dative is called the dative because of dot. because of dat. Right there. Dative. So it's the thing that you use when you're talking about giving things to people. Okay? So this is going to be the last verb. From your notes. Okay? If your highlighter did not bleed through too badly, use the next page to preserve pages in your notebook, because you might be ripping some pages out. These are notes that stay in your notebook that you can refer to. Okay? So the last verb I'm going to give you is eat. Edo. Edo. Edes. Edit. See, this may be wrong. I'm going to want to give you another one. Go. Let me give you the word go. Ao. Is. It. Imus. Itis. Aunt. And with go, if we're talking about going to a place, if we're talking about going to a place, we always put that place in the accusative. Okay? So going places always means that, or entering places. It's kind of the same thing. Okay, so let's do our sentences down here. Okay. Also, with the word go, we might use the word odd. Okay? Because we're not just going to put the place, the word for the place in the accusative form. We're also going to probably use this word odd sometimes, which means two. Okay? So we might say, Maria ad Silam. Which verb? If we're talking about Mary does the verb, does the going. It. Maria ad Silvam it. To the forest. Forest being in the accusative goes. If we wanted to make it plural, talk about plural people, puella ad Silvam. Same thing, except now we're talking about plural girls. We're talking about they. Saying girls go is this kind of the same as saying they go, right? So eunt. Eunt. Okay, let's do another one. Eo. I go. Cum. Oh, cum means with. If you've taken Spanish, con means with. They're similar words. If we're talking about with somebody, we're going to use the ablative. So, let's say with the girl. Cum puella, but this puella is going to have a macron on it. Eo cum puella ad forum. Again, forum is just the forum, like the Roman Forum. Eo. Oh, eo cum puella ad forum. Sorry, eo was already there. I just put it at the beginning of my sentences. Said. We've been putting our verbs at the end because Latin does that a lot. But it's not a hard and fast rule. Eo cum puella ad forum. Okay, so we have three verbs. Do, when you give something, that something's in the accusative.